Bait is becoming a go-to initiator for a majority of the maps, and it's easy to see why.
Find you. One. Bam. One enemy. I knew you.
Fracture is a map with tight entrances into site, but makes up for this with the 4 possible lanes on each side of A and B site. You'll need some good info, and of course a Viper wall never hurts, so playing an agent that can provide you with that will be important. With that being said, here's your complete guide for Fade on Fracture. I'm Chill, and let's get into it. Let's take a look at some haunt spots and lineups that you can use to start your initiation into site. See what I did there? These haunts are optimized to get you as much info as possible, since there are a lot of angles an enemy can play on defense here. We'll start over on A site attack. When coming from dish into drop, move into this corner of the rock wall. Look up at the metal beam that intersects with the broken outer wall. Simply throw and your haunt will reveal a large majority of A, including anyone peeking ropes. There aren't any really good spots coming from A main since you're indoors, but you can aim towards the top of site and run throw a haunt that will reveal top site, spawn entrance, and some of ropes. Combine this with a Prowler to clear under site. B is a bit easier to find areas of height and reveals a lot of angles around site. We'll begin from B tree. Heading into tree, position yourself on the other side of the metal box in this corner. Put your crosshair on this spike looking part and jump throw. Make sure you jump and throw immediately, because if you wait too long after jumping, it will hit the roof and you'll get laughed at. This reveals a good amount of site, tower, and the area around generator. On the opposite side, you can reveal tower, arcade, and generator by moving into this box and looking up at this intersection on the structure in the distance. Do a normal throw and let the haunt do the rest. Now let's take a look at some defender side haunts. Starting on A drop, move into this corner and look at the angle between the building. You can place your crosshair pretty much anywhere in this space and do a normal throw. It will reveal most of dish, including the orb and attack spawn entrance. Next, head over to ropes right before the round starts and slide over so you're in line with the thin black metal strip. 180 and aim at this intersection of metal here. Run a bit and jump throw for a haunt that catches any enemies in spawn heading into A hall. This first A retake haunt will be thrown from top ropes. For these retakes, you may find it easier to ping this spot and then throw. Position your crosshair at the top of the roof across from you and run and jump throw. It'll reveal stairs on site, the left corner of site, and A main. If you want to hit that spot from A link, it'll be less safe unless there's a smoke, but you can peek throw your haunt, and this is where your ping will come in handy since you can accidentally overthrow. Heading over to B, we'll start by moving into the corner where the stairs and platform meet. Look up at the 2 V-shaped vents. In the center of them, move your crosshair down a bit so it's in the middle of the green panel on the wall. Jump throw and your haunt will sit on the edge of the other side and reveal most of B tree. On the opposite side, head to the starting barrier looking at arcade. Move into the left corner and take out your haunt. Position the mouse icon arrow just below the 8 on the wall. Run and jump throw and your haunt will reveal spawn and bench. The first retake haunt will be this corner behind gen. Move your crosshair into where the tree and top gen meet. Run and jump throw to reveal site and tower. Coming out of canteen, you can use this one if you're smoked off. Aim at the light in the back of site. Run throw for a haunt that reveals the same spots as before. Prowlers are going to be a great tool to assist your team into site by revealing enemies that your haunt may have missed, like in tower and canteen. Don't forget that you can use a Prowler for post plants as well if you need to force the enemy off spike. Let's start over on A. You can clear the A main peak with this Prowler and then turn through door to check anyone close. When you get to A main, you can use your second Prowler to clear top site by going up the stairs. However, you don't really have enough juice to get bottom site as well, so clearing top with a haunt and bottom with a Prowler is your best bet. Coming from A gate, you can send a Prowler towards the ult orb to push defenders off and claim the orb for yourself. Just make sure they didn't push up to the left side of dish. When you're on drop, you have a few options. You can throw it out towards A link if someone is peeking that doorway, and then quickly 180 towards site to clear close left corner. You can clear bottom site by just sending your Prowler there, or you can head to link and then around towards ropes. Depending on what areas you've cleared with your team already, use your Prowlers in the blind spots the other utility missed. Heading over to B site from B main, we can clear a few different areas. If you're smoked off, head into this cubby and send out your Prowler towards canteen, then 180 towards site and finish by 180ing again towards tower. An alternative is heading straight to site and checking default and then going straight behind dice. When you turn around, your Prowler should catch anyone peeking tower as well. The last one from this side can head either all the way into Canteen or go towards Canteen and then head towards Gen to spawn. Coming from B bench, you'll want to clear the box in Arcade and your Prowler will actually lock onto anyone playing in Tower. You can also use a Prowler that checks behind Dice and then heads to Gen and spawn. Hitting all three is very difficult from this position, so you will either have to decide between Dice and spawn or Gen and spawn. Defensive Prowlers are used to slow an enemy push onto site and help you retake for the most part. Another great way to use a Prowler, especially on Fracture, is for farming your ult orb. We'll start over by drop before the round begins. To get this orb, come up to the edge of the dish and throw your Prowler towards A gate and check both sides. You are now free to grab the ult orb safely. You can do this with Haunt, but if you're saving Haunt for a quick retake, then this is the next best option. On the other side by A ropes, this will simply be used to check spawn, which can allow you to get the orb, but it's a bit more dangerous since the enemy can push up and peek you pretty quickly, and the position of the orb means you have little cover to retreat. At B, we can start by getting the orb here by playing in Tower and throwing a Prowler down towards bench. You can do this from the starting barrier at Gen, but you will forfeit Tower. You can use an early info Prowler towards B tree and a Haunt lineup for bench side to cover all of your info. When retaking A, you can clear A hall and A main from the rope area. This will assist in your retake and pull enemies towards door while your team can head straight to site. If there is no sage wall, you can Prowler from your spawn entrance, especially if it is smoked. This way, you can clear those close angles and reveal anyone under sight or close A main. When retaking B, we will normally be coming from spawn or canteen. When coming from spawn to B, you can use your Prowler up the ramp onto site, so don't worry about it getting stuck. Check the close right cubby, default, and tower, even if you can't make it there. Doing this from behind Gen will get you slightly further. By canteen in this cubby, you can either head to site and do a quick left turn or go straight towards B main. So for C spots, I'm not going to go through every possible lineup because I don't want this video to turn into a 20-minute. I will, however, give you some of the more essential ones and go over any possible situations where you may need to use it. You can use this first C's lineup to check if anyone is playing close left or right in A main. Walk along the right wall until you see the light, run and throw, and if you see the orb and tether, you know that you caught one. You can also throw an orb from this lineup to reveal and trap anyone playing close left corner of sight when retaking or attacking. Head into this corner. Look up at the corner of the metal arch and jump throw. If you don't see the tether, then you don't have to check that angle and turn away from A main. When playing Postplant from A main, you want the orb to land in this spot so that it can tether anyone playing stairs, spike, or behind spike. You can ping this spot to make it easier to land. If it is planted in the far corner, play behind this box and run throw by aiming at about the level of the horizontal light. When coming towards B from tree, there are a couple spots you can throw your C's. The four main spots I would use are Tower, Canteen Cubby, Backside Dice, and Behind Gen. Your Prowler and Haunt spots can be used to decide where you throw your C's. When heading to site through Arcade, you can use it on someone you revealed or in Tower so you can push up and take control. When retaking on defense after you throw your Haunt from Gen, you can position yourself close by at this middle panel. Look up at the top of the tree where the trunk meets the leaves and run jump throw. When playing Postplant from Tower, stand at an off angle to the door. Aim at the middle of the square wall panel to the right of the B. Run throw and you can peek after the enemy is tagged and drop 75 health. Alright, let's talk about Nightfalls real quick. On A attack from A main, you can stand behind the box and adjust so that it covers all of sight and most of drop. Coming from drop, you can do the same, either ult A from the left side or ult ropes and A link from the right. One of my favorite spots to ult for B site is tunnel. You can get here from either side of attack and cover all of B, most of tower, and the areas around generator and canteen. Definitely one of the best ult spots on Fracture. A secondary option is from this corner in Arcade that covers all of tower and site. For the A retake, you can either come over to A link and ult all of site and a bit of entrance, or you can come over to ropes and ult from the wall close to door. This will allow you to hit most of A main, but you'll need to be careful since you're close to the door. When retaking B, head to the far wall in B link. Make sure to get as much of site and tower in your ult. From Canteen Cubby, you can ult all of site and a good chunk of tower. Alright, that was a complete guide for Fade on Fracture. I'm exhausted, but it was worth it for you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like the video if you found it helpful. Comment down below if you think Fade is a good agent on Fracture. And subscribe for more guides, memes, and everything in between. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.